welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the introduction for my Project Use It Up 2016. And basically what a Project Use It Up is, it is typically a year-long challenge that you give yourself, but it can be shorter or longer, I guess. But basically what you do is you create a whole list of very broad general goals that you want to complete in that span of time, and then usually every month you give yourself more specified goals to help facilitate that very long list of goals. So I've known about Project Use It Up for almost a year now, and I've been thinking about doing one for probably the last couple months, and I thought what better time to start than the beginning of 2016. And so what I've been doing is for the past couple of weeks I've been writing out what I think I can use up and get through in the next year, and just been sort of plotting out ideas in my notebook. I have narrowed everything down. I have given myself a definitive list that I want to use. Things may change over the next couple of months, obviously, as I start to get an idea of what I really want to do. But for right now, these are my goals, and I'm pretty sure most of them will stay. It's more that some of the numbers may get bigger, or they may get smaller as I start to realize what I really can achieve. So without further ado, let's just get into the list. There are not actually going to be many products that I'm going to show you. It's more that I'm just going to be talking through my overall goals. So in my notebook, I have everything written out, and I have check boxes next to each individual section, depending on how many things in that little category I want to use up. And within all of this, I have four main categories. I have makeup, I have skincare, I have body care, which is basically like lotions, and then I have specific items that I want to use up. So these are not necessarily items that I do not like, I just want to make sure that I'm getting use out of them. So I'll start off with my makeup items, and the first item that I have is face primers, and what I have on the list are two. I want to finish up one mattifying primer and one smoothing primer. I have a lot of sort of travel size, or like bigger than deluxe sample size, but most of my primers are not full size, so I thought it would be really nice to try and use up one mattifying primer, because I'm always using a mattifying primer, and then one smoothing primer, so typically something that's going to go like over your pores. Then I have 6 foundation items that I want to finish up. 2 full-size foundations. I am probably a third left in my Revlon Color Stay, so I'm thinking that might be one to use up. And then I want to use up one other full-size foundation. Then I have 3 foundation samples. They're all of the same kind. It is the Tarte Amazonian like 12-hour coverage liquid foundation, but I have 3 little sample pots that throughout my different skin depths throughout the year, I could definitely finish those up, so I want to make sure that those get used up before they go bad. And then I have one BB cream sample, which is the Laura Mercier like tinted moisturizer. I have a tiny little deluxe sample size from a Point Perk, so I want to make sure that I'm using that up, which is going to be a theme throughout this entire thing. I want to make sure that I'm using up all of my samples. So any like packet samples or foil samples, those I definitely want to make sure are gone by the end of the year, because I know that they can accumulate really, really fast. The next thing is concealers. I want to use up one concealer sample, which is my Bye Bye Under Eye. I have a little sample, but there's a lot of product in it, so I want to make sure that I'm using it. And then the other concealer, I want to make sure that I use up a brightening concealer. So I have quite a few, doe foot applicator concealers, so like the Better Skin, the Rimmel Wake Me Up, or the NYX HD concealer, any of those brightening concealers that you put under your eyes, I want to use up at least one of those throughout the year. I could use up 2, but I'm starting with 1. Next, I have eyebrow products, and I want to use up 2. I want to use up 1 pencil and 1 powder, and I think that that's a pretty good starting point. Again, I may finish up more, but I think 2 is a good starting block. Next on the list is blush, and blush is a little bit different. I know that it's really hard to even hit pan on a blush. I haven't actually done it yet, so I figured my goal would be to hit pan on 1 powder, and to either hit pan on a cream or like use up, I know I have a couple of like stick cream blushes that are like sort of mini size, so I want to make a decent dent in at least one of those cream blushes. Next on my list is eyeshadows, which is kind of more of a loose goal than like an actual hard fast goal that I want to give myself. The first thing that I have on my list is to make a point to use all of my palettes at least once, because I have had a really bad habit for the past couple of years of buying a palette and then maybe using it once but then putting it away for months and not touching it. Eyeshadow is one of my favorite things about makeup, and so I obviously, as a collector of makeup, I collect a lot of eyeshadow, and I just haven't given my eyeshadows enough love. So one thing that I really want to make a point to do is just use my eyeshadow palettes at least like for 2 weeks in a row and really get a feel for how I feel about the formula of the shadow. The other goal for eyeshadows is that I really want to use up 3 of my ColourPop shadows. Just after hitting pan so quickly on my ColourPop eyeshadow in like Onai or whatever, it's like a creamy beige color, I'm like, I definitely want to make a point to use up some of these because there's just such little product in there and I can use them as eyeshadow bases. I thought it would be a good way to use up some of those. And the last makeup item on my project use it up list are lipsticks. And lipsticks are one of those products that I also tend to accumulate a lot of product of. I counted up all of my mini lipsticks because I thought that that would be a good place to start, and I realized I have like 35 of those. So I thought I'm gonna give myself a goal of using up 10 mini lipsticks, any 10, throughout the course of the next year. And then on top of that, I also want to try and use up 5 full-size lipsticks. Any lipsticks, but they have to be full-sized. And then the last goal that I have for lipsticks is to try also, like with my eyeshadows, I've used pretty much all of my lipsticks at least once, but I want to go through them again and just make sure that I like the formula. The next category is skincare, and the first 2 items on the list are finishing up 2 of my face product sample packets. I have one from Tata Harper and then I have one from Fab Beauty, and so I just want to make sure that I'm using both of those up at some point. Then I want to use up 5 of my small trial size cleansers. I have a large amount of like full size cleansers, but I have started to accumulate smaller trial sizes just to see if I like the product, and I have 5 of those, so I want to use up all of those. Then I want to make a point to use up any 5 of my face masks. I have some smaller ones, I have ones that are the size of my White Glam Glow, and I have a couple of sheet masks. I just want to make sure that I'm using them, kind of like how originally I wanted to use up the Glam Glow to make sure that I was using it. It's more along those lines than actually wanting to get stuff out of my collection. The next is to finish up any 2 hair masks. I do like to do like a deep conditioning sort of, not treatment per se, but like instead of using a regular conditioner, I will use a deep conditioner in the shower when I wash my hair, like every 2 or 3 times that I wash my hair. So I thought trying to use up 2 hair masks by the end of the year would be a pretty reasonable goal. Next, I want to use up 3 colored lip balms, which sort of falls along the lines of my e.l.f. tinted lip balms, my baby lips. I have an agave lip mask from Bite Beauty that I'd like to make sure that I'm using up. So any 3 colored lip balms that I have. Next, I have 2 or more face moisturizers, so the ones that I will typically put on either before my makeup. I have my Garnier gel moisturizer, or say ones that I put on before I go to bed, so something like that. I want to use up at least 2 face moisturizers by the end of the year. And then the last item on my skincare list is to use up 3 or more full-size cleansers. So like I said, I have a bunch of little like trial or travel sized cleansers, and so I want to make sure that I'm also using up my big ones, just because I have several that are on their way out, and so it's more to get those to be used up, and also to make sure that I'm cleansing my face at night, because you know, we all get lazy. So that is all of the skincare that I want to use up for the year. Next on my list, I took a very long and hard look at all of my body lotions. I have like the 3-ounce lotion bottles that I was using in my last project. I also have the 8-ounce bottles. I have a couple of the hand creams. So I was like, I need to make sure that I'm getting through these before they go bad. So I gave myself, I think, a pretty reasonable goal. So my goal is to finish up 1 2-ounce hand cream, like the pumpkin pecan waffles hand cream that I finished up. I want to finish up 1 8-ounce body lotion from Bath & Body Works. I want to finish up 2 of the 3-ounce body lotions. And then last but not least, I either want to finish up 1 full 8-ounce Ultra Shea Moisture body lotion from Bath & Body Works. Or, if that's too much, I gave myself sort of a fallback. Basically, if I can finish up half of one and half of another, so 4 ounces of each, which would make up a full body butter, figured that that was pretty fair. I figured giving myself the option of finishing up, say, 1 from the summer and 1 from the winter would give me sort of a fallback if I started to fall behind on those. And last but not least, I have all of these specific items that I want to use up. These are items that are definitely going to show up in other project pans and other sort of use it up projects that I'm doing that are either seasonal or they're just regular project pans that I'll do throughout the year. So the first item on my specific items to use up list is the What's Up Benefit Highlighter. I have had this highlighting little sample for going on, I want to say 3 years at this point. I didn't open it, I didn't use it since the beginning, but it is getting older, so I want to make sure that I'm using it up. It is probably one of my favorite cream highlighting items at the moment, like liquid highlight rather than powder highlight. I'm just worried it's going to go bad, so I want to make sure by the end of the year it's used up, and then at that point it would be time to throw it out. The next item is my Pixi Correction Concentrate. That is one of 2 sort of under eye, like, darkness correction items that I have. I have that, and then I have the Bye Bye Under Eyes from IT Cosmetics. So I want to make sure that I'm using up the Pixi one because there's more product used up in it. But I also want to make sure that I'm getting use out of the other one at the same time. So I figured put the one that has more product used up on the list to actually finish, but still make sure I'm using the other one. I hope that that makes sense. Next is my OGX Moroccan Argan Oil. This is another product that I tend to ignore. It is basically just a really intense hair oil. I have it in my hair today and I just use it right after I get out of the shower. It makes my hair really soft and really smooth and pretty shiny. So I just want to make sure that I am using that. Next up is my Tarte Smooth Operator Loose Powder. You guys, if you've been watching any of my weekly makeup baskets, I use this in conjunction with another under eye setting powder. I really like it. I am almost halfway through it. The next one is from my first project pan, the Finish 13 by Halloween. I'm bringing it back in. Is the Neutrogena Combo Skin Moisturizer. There is like 1/8 of the product left. I just want it gone, and I was like, we're putting this on the list to make sure that it gets out. Next up is the Garnier Gel Moisturizer. This is just a gel moisturizer that's like for combo oily skin. It just sinks in really fast. I use it every single morning before putting on any makeup. Next, I have some cleansing products. The first one is the Neutrogena Gentle Foaming Cleanser. This is just a pretty basic foaming cleanser that I will use to wash my face. Next is the Neutrogena Acne Wash. It's sort of along the same lines, but it has acne medicine in it. So if I feel like my skin is really built up, I will use it at night to clean my face so that anything that's in my pores doesn't continue to grow. That's really nasty, I know. I'm sorry. Next, I have the Garnier Clean Plus Makeup Cleansing Lotion. This is my favorite way right now to remove makeup. Right now I'm using a different Garnier Clean Plus, but once I finally finish that up, I'm going back to this. The second to last product I have is the Up and Up Acne Clearing Treatment, and this is similar to the Clean and Clear one. It's just a little like squeezy tube, and you just put it on your finger and then you just smooth it over any areas that you feel like are sort of breaking out, and it helps to control it and or stop it from happening in the first place. And the last item that I have on this list is sort of a two-part item. So the item in question is my Physicians Formula Talc-Free Mineral Powder. The thing about it is that I have two different shades. I have a translucent lighter shade and I have a darker, like creamy natural shade. The creamy natural shade has already hit pan, there's a decent dent in it. The lighter shade, however, does not have pan in it. So I thought a really nice compromise would be that I would either try and finish up the darker shade or hit pan on the lighter shade. So they sort of amount to the same thing in my mind. So I thought that that would be a good goal to give myself, to do one or the other. So those are all of my specific items that I want to finish up. And that is the introduction to my project Use It Up 2016. I am so excited to start this project. I have been thinking about doing this, like I said, for at least a month, and have been planning the entire thing out. I've been writing out notes in this book. And I'm hoping that you guys come along the journey with me. Let me know if you are doing a project Use It Up for the year. I already watched several people who I can link down below if you want more people to watch. But yeah, they're again a really motivating tool to use to help you figure out what you can use up, how long it takes you to use something up. I just thought it would be kind of nice to have an overarching goal to hit for the entire year. And like I said, also at the beginning of the video, I am going to also make a January 2016 goals list, and then in February I will update you guys again and let you know how those goals went, what are my goals for February, and so forth. So again, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that you will come along on this journey with me. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already, and I'll catch you guys later.